I'm gonna talk about this a little bit because I think it's as important for integrators to talk to your customers about as it is for me to talk to end users about it. But it's really developing a work cell champion. So first time automation customer, if there's not a work cell champion in that building, doesn't matter if it's a welding application or pick and place or what it is, the potential for that system to operate efficiently goes down dramatically if there's not someone that's kind of deemed as the champion, somebody that wants to take ownership of that. So what does the work cell champion do? Ensures that it's fully utilized and that the system is successful. They take into account its success personally, and they want to own the cell. They're responsible for it, and then there's got to be some measurable and quantitative goals. A lot of times it's combined in with maybe some incentives, pay increases, whatever the case may be. But getting that one person, and generally in the welding space, I have most success taking a welder, somebody that was under the hood, putting wire in a joint, and making them the work cell champion, because their job just got easier. And they take some pride in their work. They still have control of the quality of the part coming out, because a lot of welders today are a little bit, they think of themselves as artists a little bit. They take pride in their ability to weld. So taking pride in making sure the parameters are right, what the robot's doing, is a big deal to them. So if I have my choice and I'm walking into a new customer, did it with you guys, what, year and a half, 2 years ago? Walked in, talked about who's going to be your champion. You had the guy, and he's not even there anymore, is he? But there's been another one that stepped in his place, and who's better. Yeah. So having that work cell champion is huge. Pick the champion. You got to make sure that they have adequate training. Equip and enable them with the tools needed to do their job, whether that's simulation software, whatever the case may be. Yeah.
What is your best method of convincing an end customer to chase getting a champion for the system? I've had umpteen and integration projects over the years where this factory wants to rotate a guy every 3 weeks. He changes stations, and then you end up with the whole, I forgot how to do it every 3 weeks, and then as an integrator, we're getting phone calls being like, the system's not working, and they just don't remember how to operate it. A good way to get the production manager or someone to buy into, hey, we got to change your process a little, and someone's just going to live with the robot and embrace it, like you're saying.
I think that to answer your question specifically, I've not come across that exact scenario, but plenty of times we see that it's not maybe not specifically that revolving scenario, but it's not consistent. It's inconsistent operators. It's just sitting down and having the hard conversation. And I have had the candid conversation with some customers, even with the people in the room. Like, this guy is really good at doing this, but he is not the right guy to run the robot cell. And even that guy oftentimes is saying, yeah, I don't really want to be that guy. So we have to figure out who the right person is. A guy, gal, I shouldn't say guy, I guess, but it's a tricky scenario. I don't think there's any one answer that's going to nail it every time. I think it's fluid.
If you don't have the champion on the cell, it just immediately puts that sour taste to automation in some customers. No one owned it and was proud of what the robot was doing.
One of the biggest red flags for me on a potential sale or a potential new customer is when the customer wants no responsibility for the process or anything. They want a complete turnkey. They want to push the button and have it go. I typically go at those in a much different fashion than when the customer wants to take ownership, wants to be a part of the process, wants to be engaged into the scenario, into the development of the cell, the building of the cell, the programming of the parts. When somebody wants a turnkey, we can give them that turnkey and it will weld that part perfect, but as soon as they got to make a change and we're not there looking over their shoulder, then you're getting the phone calls, and it's usually another candid conversation that takes place right out of the gate early on. You got to have some tools to measure. You got to put that on your customer, that they've got to have some tools to measure their success. How do they know that it's going to be successful if they don't have any metrics in place? And then the motivation factor, and then broadening the scope, because generally what happens is you get that champion developed. He gets to the point where maybe the first system is up and running, it's making production, it's paid for itself. It always becomes, it's the best part of selling robots. They make babies, right? When you sell one, you usually are going to sell another. And that's the beauty of having that work cell champion, because now he's working on the next project in his head even before maybe I as a sales guy or you guys as sales guys or apps engineers even know they're looking at it.